What's up, Daryl?
What's up, Bill?
Good to see you, man.
You too, man.
Welcome to the LAsober Sessions podcast, everyone. This is episode 3, and we have Daryl from GOOD+BAR on.
Yeah. We also call it just Good Bar.
Good Bar. Apologize there. Daryl, we met through John.
Yep.
Our mutual contact, and you guys met at the gym, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. And did you surf today?
I tried.
Where did you try surfing?
So I surf mostly at Salt Creek down in Orange County. And, we definitely need a certain direction for the swell.
Yeah.
And I walked down and it was just closed out. So no.
Well, good for you for trying. As I said, I haven't surfed since Maui and at the end of the year because of fires and just with so much work.
Yeah.
But we will get out there.
Yes. Yes.
So where did you grow up?
I actually grew up here. I grew up in the Valley. So I grew up in Calabasas.
Okay.
After my parents separated, I came down to Orange County.
Yep.
And then that kind of put me down there. But I ended up finishing high school at Calabasas and then spent some time in Northern California. Ran back through LA for a few years. And then I think when I was like 21, made my way back down to San Clemente.
Yeah.
And so I've been there more or less ever since. Raised a family down there.
Yep.
Spent a little time on the East Coast, just kind of in sort of the natural food world. I went to this like very specialized culinary school out in New York. Came back out, started an organic meal delivery company in 2004 and did that here in LA. But I've been here, more or less ever since. Yeah.
Awesome. And how did Good Bar start? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so Good Bar was a project that I had started working on in 2018. So I hit this point where I was like, okay, I'm really done with drinking, but I'm not done socializing.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, what can I do? Where do I want to go? And I would really attempt to go out and drink whatever that was non-alcoholic at that time.
Yeah, which there weren't a lot of options.
There wasn't. Yeah, it was like
O'Doul's.
It was like O'Doul's or like sparkling water.
Yeah.
And that was super boring to me. And then the other part I didn't really like was like, buddies were getting hammered.
Yep.
And I'm like not drinking, and I'm like, this is really not fun. Really quick.
Well, because they say the same thing over and over again, and it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't need any more hugs.
Yeah,
like I'm cool.
You know? Was there a turning point or something that happened that made you stop drinking, or just health, or?
Yeah, so 2013 got separated, divorced, and I had a pretty solid stretch for 5 years of just like, I met my ex-wife when I was 21.
Yeah, totally different person.
Yeah, totally different person. And so like the world kind of opened up.
Yep.
To me at that time, and in large part because I didn't know really who I was during that time period. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the world, look at this. And I lived a very different life being married. Very, very, very different life.
Did she drink or no?
No.
So she didn't drink at all,
No.
and then you'd go out and have some fun. And was she anti it? And she like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, especially because I didn't drink for the first several years of our marriage.
Because of her.
Yeah, probably more or less. Because I drank beforehand.
Yep.
And then we actually met at church. that gives you any indication of kind of the life that sort of I transitioned from. Coming out of LA into Orange County. I was partying pretty hard. And
was that because it was like something safe, and you go like, this is safe?
What, church?
No, well, church and your wife, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where it was like a nice hug, right? Because it's like, trust me, I totally get that piece of it where she would almost keep you in line to a degree.
Yeah, I basically married the mom I wish I would have had.
Oh my God.
So it was like pretty insane.
Yeah.
She's a great human being, by the way. So
I get it.
But yeah, like I was a very immature child.
Yep.
And needed a mother, and I married her.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really work long term
Yeah.
for a romantic
Yep.
partnership. And so so basically I was kept in line for the 15 years we were together, and then at the end of it I just the world opened back up to me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna rage here. And
Yep.
so I spent about 4.5 years just
Having a good time.
having a good time. So that was really the catalyst of being like fatigued by kind of what I was
Yeah, and I mean you're super healthy, and
Yeah.
so you started a food service business at one point, right?
Yeah, organic meal delivery company, 2004. We worked on a organic restaurant, 2008 or 9. It was we started at like a farmer's, almost like a pop-up, like a farmer's market, like
Yep.
organic restaurant. We were making kombucha. We were, things that now are like really common, weren't common then. We
Yeah.
were, making kombucha. We were selling tallow, like grass-fed tallow, like early on.
Yeah.
Like, everything was like no seed oils, like very, very early on stuff that even our organic meal delivery company was probably 10 years too early. Like when you have some of these other companies like a Blue Apron or Freshly or whatever,
Yeah.
like that now, have the luxury of.
Well, I mean, it's
UPS
crazy.
doing-
I'm sure you've been to Expo West, and that thing is just, it's massive. Like for you out there that don't know, Expo West is a natural food, natural supplement convention down in Orange County. I think there's one on the East Coast too, and it's just it is by far the largest convention I've ever been to. Like you can go there high and you can eat so much food. It is really, really good. Just
So the funny part about that you mentioned that is the first one I ever went to was in 2002, and my son was like 1.
Yeah.
And I was carrying him around on a backpack, and it was a bunch of hippies at that time.
Yeah.
Now it's like blown up to everybody. We're actually doing 3 events at Expo West.
Oh, awesome.
Next week. Yeah, so we've got 2 happy hours at the convention.
That's great.
And then we have a private dinner with a bunch of CEO founders.
That's cool.
In Newport that's associated with the expo.
Okay, and then so GOOD+BAR.
Yeah. So 2018 was like, okay, there's nothing out there. Don't want to hang out with my friends like in this environment. I need to be aligned. Guess we'll invent it. So our sort of core original idea was, all right, a place, right? We're going to build this functional non-alcoholic bar. And I say functional because that was really key to me, which was I didn't want to give up the aspect of like some element of head change, body change, like feeling better. I didn't think the mocktail thing was like sustainable.
Yep.
So,
AKA LAsober.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we when we were building it, the idea, we take for granted now. If you look around, there's 300 different non-alcoholic brands,
Yeah.
beers, wines, spirits, RTDs, you name it. So then 2018, nothing existed.
Yep.
And so we started literally formulating our own whiskey, gin, rum, tequila, vodka, distilling it in my kitchen with a still, like just doing what we could, and got pretty good at it. But what we ended up doing was we were enhancing the spirit with functional ingredients. So it was like a whiskey that was like chill and a vodka that was energizing. And then we were like, does that really make sense? Because, if someone wants a vodka drink, does it all have to be energized?
Yeah.
And so we kind of scrapped that to just be like spirit oriented, and then started separately formulating our own functional blends.
And where did you learn how to do this? Did you just like trial and error, or did you go like? Is there schools for this?
Yeah. So the first beverage team that I found, somehow got introduced to a couple of ex-Erewhon beverage people. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. But they were amazing. I think there's a spot in Venice called Anima Mundi. Mm-hmm. So it's like an apothecary,
Yep.
and they have a bar in the back. But all their drinks are really very, they are very functional, very herbal. They take about 5 minutes for each one to make, and they're very crafted. That was kind of like how that first beverage team was leaning. And they made some beautiful, amazing drinks, like very sophisticated drinks. from a scale perspective, when we were looking at GOOD+BAR, because GOOD+BAR was intended to be multi-united, we wanted them everywhere.
Yep.
It didn't scale. So that's kind of actually how we started formulating our own spirits at that time. We're like, hey, we should create these things that are like spirits, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, duh. So that we could do this at scale. So they were maybe not necessarily the right team. I somehow got introduced to a guy who's still on our team and a partner in the business, who's a licensed naturopathic doctor, and he was getting his doctorate in, and it's still the title, but Oriental medicine.
Yep.
So he was getting his doctorate in that, and we got paired together, and we started working more on the ideas of, hey, beverage formulation, functional blend formulation, like what do we do here? And so we just started working. He was young at the time, probably in his late 20s, and we just started like kind of ideating through this whole process and trial by error, really.
And so now your main focus is going to events.
Yeah.
And is it corporate events? Is it people's parties? Is it concerts? What, or all of the above?
Yeah. So that was all very unintentional. So COVID hits 2020. We're still in the formulation process. We're now, just before COVID hits, we're now looking for space for. Oh,
you were gonna have your own place.
Yeah, that was it. That was really what we wanted to. That's why we were formulating all that stuff, not to sell product. We were formulating because we're like, how do we execute this? Menu, this bar idea. And COVID hits, shut the project down. I did something completely different. I built some other business during COVID, unrelated. And middle of 2023, was like, all right, let's pick this back up. And looked around. Number one, there were 300 brands out.
Yeah.
Like all these spirits were developed. We're like, oh, whoa, I guess we don't need to do that anymore.
Yep.
Started looking for a location, had a really hard time finding the right space. And I was like, okay, I'm getting really tired of not doing this business. Like, I'm jonesing to do GOOD+BAR. Let's throw up a website and see if we can do pop-ups or events or whatever. So I literally built a website on Wix and was like, hey, we do events, right?
Give it to me.
And so it took till, I think, September of 2023 to do our first event. We got hired for a couple more, and then AbbVie, the pharmaceutical company, they make Botox and all sorts of everything you see on television, called us and said, hey, we want to do our Christmas party completely non-alcoholic. It'll be 1,000 people, and we want to do 4 bars, all different Christmas movie themes. Can you do that? We're like, yeah, of course. We do this all the time. It was like our 4th event.
That's awesome.
Or something. And we killed it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. We slayed it. I mean, we legitimately slayed it.
Yeah.
Like, we killed it. And so when January rolled around, we thought, all right, that was fun. Let's get back to finding a location. And our phone started ringing, and it started ringing more. And in 2024, we did 135 events. Jesus. Yeah. So
that's
it was
legit.
Yeah. So it was not insignificant.
All in the Southern California area.
Yeah, mostly in LA. Yeah. Probably 80% of the stuff we did was here.
Yep.
But what we found was we were getting contacted by all these brands, and they were either asking us to do a brand activation or influencer event, or their like corporate event, like some employee event. And we got the occasional call for the private party and the birthday and the wedding and all that kind of stuff. And we just decided to kind of go all in with the corporate brand activation influencer.
Yep.
So we just changed our website, for instance, to reflect that. So we got removed like the private party, kind of language, and we got this beautiful website. But we've worked with Apple, Victoria's Secret, Amazon, Free People, Aloe Yoga.
Some big names.
Yeah.
And are you the one that goes out and does all the marketing, or do you have a marketing person, or is it just all word of mouth, or what is it?
Yeah, marketing is a struggle for us,
to
be honest, because marketing is a struggle because it's super nichey, right? And the problem we have is real top of the funnel. So, really that brand awareness piece of it.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know this is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's doing events, right? All these companies are doing events. Most of them have some beverage hospitality element to them, but they don't know, and they're starting to know.
Yeah.
And that's our biggest problem. And so we've kind of cycled through some agencies. We have a social media team. And so we've run into problems there. But yeah, we've kind of struggled there with our marketing.
Yeah, it's funny, not even funny, but so my main business, I run $300 million media agency, and so we have a party each year. And even when I had my own agency before that, so I've been doing these parties for 25 years now.
Yeah.
There's always one episode because everyone's boozing, and there's always an issue, and there's always someone gets fucked up and does something stupid, and I've done it too before. And it makes sense, right? It's a much better event if you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
At your event, is there usually only non-alcohol, or are there some events you go to where they may have a regular bar too, and they have GOOD+BAR, or is it?
No, I'd say probably 90% of the events we do are just not strictly non-alcoholic.
I love it.
Yeah.
And has there been any times where someone tries to put booze inside the drink?
For sure.
Really?
Well, yeah, and the funny part is they're literally carrying a flask with them.
God.
And like, we've seen it a couple times. Like, once I give them the drink, I'm like, all right, you're on your own, pal. But and to be honest, like from our vantage point, we're not very judgmental.
Yeah,
I think the cool part about what we do, we do a few things really, really well, and because our brand activation influencer event is just beyond mocktails, because we get very involved in like incorporating brand elements into our drinks, into the naming, into the actual recipes that we use. Like we've incorporated, nutraceutical companies. We've worked for nutraceutical companies and made drinks out of their products, like brand colors. Like, really, we become like an extension of their team at certain events and become brand ambassadors, and it's a really cool, kind of model. But it's a really positive experience. Like, it's a super fun vibe. Like, that's the thing. I think people go into it thinking like, oh shit, there's no alcohol, it's gonna be boring, and then they come meet our team and we're like stoked, and then people are like, okay, this is kind of fun, and then, oh, by the way, these are really good, and oh, by the way, I kind of forgot I'm not drinking because I have something in my hand and I'm having this conversation and I have no regret, and oh, by the way, the next morning I don't feel like shit. No,
it's so true. It's like I think back in the day, I would always meet people out for drinks, right? Within business. Now I'll go and have coffee. Yeah, and it's so much first of all, you wake up in the morning, you feel good. It's a real conversation. There's no bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think we are learning, going back to, when you were married the first time and you kind of married your mom, right? I know, because I think that's a very, I think a lot of people do that are like us, right? Because we go so hard, and I think you're like me where I'm all in or all out.
Right.
And there's no self-control with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Where once you get rid of the booze, you are controlling yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't need someone else to control you.
Yeah.
And it's so positive, and you gain so much confidence because of it, right?
Yeah, there's so much to that, right? The the responsibility piece of it, the ownership of your life piece of it, the having to deal with life piece of it is like, the
good, the bad.
Right. Like, I went through a breakup, 9 months ago, and like I've never gone through a breakup sober.
Was it easier
ever in my life. So yes, so there is pain either way, right? Because you're either causing yourself a lot of pain because you're getting hammered through it, and creating more destructive behavior, and you're not really dealing with the core issues, and they stay with you, or you feel all the feelings and all the things
and work through it,
and then it actually starts to metabolize through your system, which I love that term. You start to metabolize the actual pain, and you are able to actually really process it in a full and complete way. It doesn't feel good at times. There's anxiety at times. There's whatever, depression at times, right? There's feelings along the way, a lot of them, but you actually, it's actually a part
it's
of
therapy.
Life. Yeah, but it's like part of being alive.
Yes, I think I think today everyone thinks that everything's always good. It's not. That's not life.
Right.
Like there's good, bad, and you have to feel those feelings. Like I go back to like work, right, where the stress that I'm under now, I could not be doing if I was drinking.
No, totally.
I could do it, but it would be just a train wreck.
Totally.
Because it just compounds it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I love that. Like I think you begin to appreciate, and maybe it's, you hit a certain age, you're after 40 or whatever. And I feel like you either go one of two ways. Either you as a man, maybe, you either buying like the expensive toys and you're in this midlife crisis, or you're growing like a long beard and you're getting philosophical in life. But there is a deep appreciation, I think, for all things in life, including the struggle. And I feel like you can only do that if you have a clear, head, and, alcohol is not part of your life, and you're actually experiencing life that you have to live, and it's very short.
It's like, it's just easier. It's because you don't have to deal with that thing in your head saying, well, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I keep doing it because I don't want to feel the pain.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day when I would go on a long bender.
Yeah.
You just keep it going because when you come down, you're gonna get wrecked. It's just those regrets and the shame and the guilt, and like I was brought up hardcore Catholic, right? So there's guilt there. I married a Jew, so there's guilt there. So we're just swallowed in it.
Yeah.
But now that I don't have booze in my life, it's like I don't have much guilt anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. So back to the business.
Yeah.
So what's next? Or let me say.
Sure.
What are some of the hardest things? Besides marketing, is it?
Yeah, well, that's a huge part of it. Being a somewhat solopreneur, even though I have a team, like most of my team is outsourced. That's probably the hardest part, I think. I think another hard part is that, my passion is really about the place, the space, and some of the functional stuff that we've been working on and doing, and events has a different sort of purpose, where our brick and mortar plans really mission driven. Like our mission on that side is to empower people to socialize without alcohol. Very simple. The events don't necessarily carry that mission the same way. And so I think the hard part is that I'm like jonesing for the brick and mortar because I think it's time. But to do it right, like there are mocktail bars that have popped up and closed already. Bottle shops opened and closed, and I don't really think that's the answer. I don't think the pure mocktail bar is the answer. I think that's not going to work. It's not sustainable. It's not what people want. So I think it's hard to navigate the early stage landscape because we're still very early. We had like early success, but I also, this year is slower. And so now we've got to figure out like all the fundamental things, the blocking and tackling of running this business that we didn't intend to get into, while having my heart pulled towards this other direction and some of the other things that I want to do. I guess I feel like I can't impact all the things that I want to do fast enough.
Yeah. Is that because of resources, because of funding,
For sure.
because of all those things that go on?
Yeah, it's funding is probably 1,000% of it. It's funding is 1,000% of it. Getting the, you know, and then from there you get the right team. Because I feel like we would probably, with some of the plans that we have, we make a pretty significant impact on what we're doing. I think we're an amazing brand. I think we have a good perspective on what's needed, what people want in this space, and you know, just delivering it to them.
Yeah, no, as we speak here, I think, you know, when I look at it, I think a cool thing would be is almost like in the morning, a coffee shop.
I can't believe you're saying this right now.
A coffee shop, because like you see now there's like these pop-ups where like AM something,
Boulevard Coffee and AM,
and they have these huge followings. But I almost think, and I mean, you could take whoever comes to it, but I almost think of a upscale like Cafe Lux style, but like,
well, I mean, here's why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because we're literally in like somewhat negotiation of a space in Newport.
Yep.
That we were doing this concept. We want to do this concept called, you know, we don't know if it's going to be the Good Bar name, but you know, call it Mode or Mood or something.
Yep.
Coffee and bar, and it's all, you know, kind of vibed out, sort of DJ led, event led, with these like mornings that rolls in from coffee to functional bar, because they're an extension of each other. Like the morning coffee scene is really about people not wanting to feel like shit the night before or from the night before, and they want these good vibes in the morning.
Yeah.
And then give them that in the morning and then extend it to their social hours.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And I think because, you know, people go there in the morning, they have coffee, plus then people, I mean, so many people remote work, have a cool place in there with a cool vibe, nice music, good looking people want to be around that, have some good grinds, and then flow into the afternoon. And then you can have events in there too. You can have, you know, someone playing music. You can bring locals in playing acoustic music, whatever it may be, but you can use the space from 6 a.m. until midnight. And that's a good business model.
Yeah, that's 1,000% what we're working on right now.
We think alike, my friend.
I know, dude. It's really amazing. It makes to me, it makes a lot of sense because they're so integrated with each other.
And then, do you think that maybe doing like your own line as well, then, like of some sort?
Yeah, so we've been formulating our own functional blends.
Yep.
We've kind of changed the approach on our functional blends away from tinctures to different sort of technology.
Yep.
Tinctures are really overpowering in a drink, and a lot of them are alcohol based.
So sorry, we had a little bit of a technical issue. Thank God I don't have to fix anything because I can't fix shit. So off camera, when we were down, we were talking about, you know, the type of additives. Would that be how you would say it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, botanicals, constituents.
Yeah.
Like there's all sorts of things that we incorporate in them.
And the cool thing about it is, like, you could do it for coffee, and you could do it like if you wake up and you want to be more clear, you want to have more energy, you want to have sex with your wife. Like all those things, like you know, if you're like, it's
absolutely, yes, just
like,
a big old sex party at the coffee shop. You know?
I fucking love that. Sign me up.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we're doing, everyone. So just come check us out.
So anyone want to have sex at a coffee shop? The Good Bar is the place to be.
That's it. Just sex everywhere, drinking coffee. It's very it's new. Yeah.
So if you could have a party with one celebrity.
Only one?
One.
If I could have a party with one celebrity?
Like to have them come.
Shit, man. Do they have to be a celebrity? Could they be like a surfer or something?
Yeah.
I just want like cool. I want cool people there. Like, that's a hard one. For me, man.
True.
I mean, Mikey February is like
kind
of the coolest guy on earth. You know, he's in case you don't know, he's a South African mid-length surfer that's like, well, he doesn't do mid-lengths only, but yeah, like him. I think, you know, Bill Burr is a sober guy. He's fucking cool. Dusty Slay is another comedian.
Dude, know who I want on this podcast? I think about it almost every single day, and Bruce Irons, I will pay for your flight first class to LA. I'm telling you right now, Bruce Irons, you come out, you're on this pod.
Yeah.
Daryl's gonna join me on that pod too.
Yeah. And then
so for you that don't know, Bruce Irons is a pro surfer. His brother, Andy Irons, passed away way too young.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on there. You guys can go online and read about it. But he struggled with a lot of things, and Bruce, I think, kind of like what we just spoke about, where I don't think, and I don't know Bruce, so this is just from me from afar.
Yeah.
Is I don't think he wanted to deal with it, and so he kind of spiraled for a while. But I think he's out of it now.
Yeah.
I think he went down to Mexico.
Yeah, he did ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Boga, I think is what he ended up doing.
So first of all, I think Bruce is super intelligent, and I think that what he's been through, you can just see it, like he's come full circle. And people from afar can go, oh my God, that fucking guy had everything in it. But dude, until you're in his shoes and until you live it, don't judge someone.
Yeah.
Like everyone deals with things.
Totally.
I mean, I know how I dealt with when my parents died, and I went down these bad holes. But I would love to have Bruce Irons.
Yeah.
That's kind of like,
okay, so Mikey February, Bruce Irons, and us.
Dude,
out in the water.
Come on, boys.
Yeah, I mean,
let's make it happen.
They're celebrities in our world.
Yeah,
I think.
dude, by far celebrities. What's the best event you've done before, you think?
I think that, we've done a bunch of different fun ones. Everything from, we've done a bunch at USC for students that have been crazy fun. Because they get all stoked because they get it to be included in sort of a drinking event. I think that AbbVie event was pretty amazing, just because of all the elements, the decor, like the design, the creativity that went in it, the customized drink menus, for every movie. It was like How the Grinch Stole Christmas was one. I think one was Die Hard, one was It's a Wonderful Life, one was, I can't remember the other one, but everything was just well designed. Our bar decor was like out of bounds crazy. We were making things like from scratch, Grinch trees and all this kind of fun stuff. But I think that one was probably amazing.
Know what's so cool about this, as I say cool like 45 times in this episode, is I love this podcast, and I just love this journey I'm on.
Yeah.
Because I would have never met you.
Yeah,
like I would have never met you. I would have and you came up through John, and we met, and it's just an easy conversation. Like it's not I'm not trying to have a conversation with you. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And it's because we're present.
Yeah.
We are on the same vibe. Of course, we love surfing, but it just shows you that I think everyone is on their phone so much and not living life and not being present. Yeah. And by doing this, like I'll be high as a motherfucker today because of our conversation. And I'll be high like this weekend thinking about, okay, how can I do more? How can we take our brands? And it really shows you that if you're present and you are open and you are open to feeling everything, it works.
Yeah, you really just kind of feel alive, right?
Yes.
And the funny part is like, and there's no need to sabotage any of that because it's enough to have these moments together, and then like be like, oh, I gotta get more. Like, what's more? Like that was the chase before. It was like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? And then you're like stiller and more appreciative of these moments, and they're really enriching, and they make your life fucking great. So
I'm gonna tell a quick story.
Yeah.
Is my daughter Emma is 15, and Emma is such a cool fucking person, and I love Kate too.
It's cool.
Kate's me.
Yeah.
Emma's not me.
Yeah.
And Emma and I have always had this great relationship. and she, because of the fires, her school, some of it burned down. She was at home, and she's a really good student, and so we got her into an all-girls private school. Mid-year, she knew 2 girls there. She had a really good group of friends, and at her old school,
right.
and they're still her friends. But it's been hard on her, right? Sure. It's been really hard on her, and I could see that she was, drifting apart, like going through some things. And this past weekend, we were able to go skiing together, and it was so needed and so good to be with her on this trip.
Yeah.
And while I got high a few times here or there, but I did it, and it was great just to be totally present with her and reconnect and hit the reset button and laugh.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, like, not just because of that, but since we've been back, she's been a different person.
Totally. Because she senses that your presence.
Yeah.
Right? You relate to her, in a different way. And if you were out getting hammered, you relate to her probably like a fucking asshole, to be honest.
No, for sure. And, no, it's true. And I think that so my kids call me Bill. They don't call me Dad.
Yeah. My 15-year-old calls me Daryl.
Bill, and it bothers me.
Totally.
But she said this to me. She's like, Dad. She didn't say Dad. She said Bill. She's like, I call you Bill because I am always so self-consumed, and when I was drinking, I was even more in my head. That she would say it because it got my attention.
Interesting.
And it makes me fucking sad. So I try and be more present with them. But it was just that it just shows you that when you are more connected and more present, like it brought her out of this thing. And so for all the girl dads out there, I feel for you because it is there's no book on it. But anyways.
Yeah, I love it. Those moments are really great. We do Friday night dinners every Friday. I have 5 kids. And,
5?
My all but one is local. My oldest daughter lives in Seattle, but and they come in, and what happens is when you set the tone, what I found is when you set the tone for your life and you show up in a much better way, it rubs off on them. So I, the kids that come on Friday nights are 22, 19, 15, and 14. And, imagine them having their phones and be on their phones. Not a single one has it. They're engaged with each other. There's extended family that shows up. They're interacting with each other. And I just sit back and I am like,
and just smiling.
And I smile because it wasn't always that way, number one.
Yep.
And number two is, you're appreciating those moments, and you see that they genuinely love those moments, and it will forever be etched in their mind and in history and however they relate to their families in the future. And you're really making an impact. And if I were out drinking and doing all that, being a selfish fucking prick, would not be having those moments with them. And those moments are way more important than me, going out and feeling good for 4 seconds because I'm out getting hammered.
I fucking love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, Daryl, thank you so much for coming on being here. The pod. I look forward to doing a lot more with you.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
Pretty simple. All our handles are at @GOOD+BAR, and our website is drinkgoodbar.com. And you can reach out to me at dschwartz@drinkgoodbar.com if you want to reach out directly. But yeah, pretty easy. Cool.
So anyone in the Southern California area, but also they will travel for the right price.
Yep.
First class ticket.
Yep.
And then again, guys, LAsober.com. If you guys want any merch, we're going to start bringing some more things out as well. And if anyone wants to be on the pod that you think would be a good fit, reach out. Daryl, I do have some gifts for you.
Sweet. I have a gift for you.
So here is a hoodie.
Oh, rad. Sweet. I love it.
Super high quality.
Nice.
And here's a shirt.
Nice.
And then here are 2 hats. So this is one that we thought was pretty funny. Make Los Angeles sober again, kind of MAGA.
Very cool.
So
nice, man. Ah, these are great, dude. Thank you. And then we have some Good Bar shirts for you.
oh, thank you so much.
Here we go. Good Bar, a place for the rest of us.
Oh, love it, dude.
Yeah, man. That's
Cool.
where we all belong.
Thank
there
you.
you go. It's great seeing you. Thanks,
Dude,
brother.
thank you.
Always good.
Awesome.
Okay, man.
Peace.
Peace.